Hi everyone, I am back with another episode. This is episode 27 and it's going to be a little bit different than normal. We are going to go through all of my current whips that I have in my cabinet basically. And I thought that would be really fun to do that. So it is a little bit, what's that? That's like a little, I'm just watching a feather float about. Ooh, spooky. Do you know, it reminds me of Stranger Things because we have just started watching Stranger Things. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. No, it's still there. I'm going off on one already. Start again. Compose. Okay, so episode 27. I'm going to call this episode a whip roundup. I finally found my book where I keep all of my notes for my podcast episodes so that I remember what to make sure I mention, and it just helps me basically because it's got a head like a sieve. I just thought it'd be a fun episode to share with you all of my projects. So, but we will resume normal podcast format will resume on the next episode because I put on my Instagram stories what you'd like me to share on my next podcast, and I had a really good selection of ideas, so thank you. And lots of you mentioned journaling, so I will definitely do that because I keep saying I'm going to and I haven't, so I will do. I definitely, it's definitely there in the back of my mind that you want me to chat about that and share that with you. But yeah, because normally if this is the first time you're watching, actually, because I've got quite a few there's quite a few new subscribers, so thank you so much if you have taken the time to watch, subscribe. It really helps my channel, and obviously it lets YouTube know that, you know, my videos are getting watched, and it could just help with the algorithm because blimey, if anyone can actually understand the algorithm, it's just crazy, isn't it? I don't actually you can watch all different videos about it on YouTube and when it's best to do this and that and all this, but I think, you know, ultimately just by watching, just by liking, just by commenting, and it doesn't cost to do any of those things. So if you've done that, thank you, I really appreciate it. If this is the first episode you're like the first podcast you're watching, normally it's kind of similar to the majority of everyone's format where people will share finished objects, their current projects they're working on, any happy mail, any purchases that they've recently got. Well, they call it acquisitions, don't they? But mine isn't always necessarily yarn. It might be new books that I've got, or just other bits. I really like when I watch podcasts or vlogs, I really like, it's not just about all the crafty bits as much as that is a big part of my life and I love it. I also find things interesting like beauty, makeup, all that kind of thing. So if someone's sharing their favourite perfume or their favourite lipstick or their favourite skincare product or something like that, or they could be chatting about gardening, some new seeds they've got. So it's all things like that that I would probably share as well. And then books, TV, that type of thing. So it's like a really good array of different topics because everyone has got, whilst they will enjoy craft and things like that, there's probably other hobbies that people have, and it's nice to just, I think you can kind of like get to know somebody a little bit better by knowing other things that they enjoy doing as well. So I really like that. So that's enough jibber jabbering. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Ravelry, you can find me on Goodreads. I'll leave links down below where you can find me. I do have an Etsy shop, and I was planning on my next update being the end of this month, but it has been so crazy. I've not even made a start on the bags yet. But hopefully it will be in the next month or two. I need to just get a little bit more organised. My little one was poorly, bless her. She had a really bad tummy flu, so she wasn't very well the other week, and so she was off school, and it's pretty busy. Yeah, hopefully I will get round to getting them cut out, and once I start making them they won't take long to do, hopefully. So, but we've got Easter coming up soon, so I might get time then to, I've actually got some time off, so I might get some time to start making a start on them. But apart from that, let's get down to business, shall we? I'm going to take this. Can I just chat to you about this, right? My kids literally cringe when I showed them this. I think that is so cool. And I guess it's probably my age now, because I remember when I was younger, I used to think this was like really old-fashioned. And but I'm forever putting my glasses down. I only really need my glasses for, I don't need them for driving. I don't need them for watching the TV, or if we go cinema. I don't need them for anything like that. I just need them for close-up, really, just to help, because I have, and my prescription is only in my left eye, because my right eye is totally fine actually, but I have astigmatism in this eye, so I do need them. I can't pop to like somewhere like Primark and pick up some, you know, £2, do they call them like ready readers or something like that, because they just don't work for me. I do need an actual prescription. So again, yeah, I just use them for close-up, so reading, computer work, obviously knitting, any crafty bits like that. So, and I'm forever putting them down, and I lost my original pair of glasses that I had, and I saw this chain in Tiger. They had other ones. It was only about £3, and I want to get another chain for my other pair of glasses. There was one, it was really pretty, and it looked like a daisy chain, but I picked this one up. I love it. I had it on when the kids got home from school, and it was just worth the look on their face. Was perfect. I loved it. I love embarrassing them. Does anyone else love doing that? Is that mean? But I'm going to take it off because I think it's going to be a little bit noisy, and it's going to, like, you know, knock on everything. So anyway, glasses on. I'm just going to have a quick sip. I know I said that I'd stop jibber jabbering, but you know, if you know me and you've been here for a while, you know I can't help myself. But I am still absolutely loving an oat mocha. Let me know, have you tried a mocha? That's amazing. I'm really lucky. I literally have a coffee shop 2-3 minutes from where we live, and they make the best mochas, and I have been having an oat mocha regularly from there, and I just love it so much. I have had a go at making one at home, but it's not the same, is it, when you go to an actual proper coffee shop? But if you have never tried a mocha, or you're wondering what a mocha is, it's half coffee and then half hot chocolate, and then depending if you want, you can have cream on it, but I tend to not have cream on it. I like how it's basically like a sweet coffee. You wouldn't need any sugar in it, definitely not, but it just tastes amazing. So next time you're at a coffee, if you like coffee, or I don't know, some people want to like coffee, but they don't like it, do they? Because that might be an option actually. If you want to like coffee, and you're just not too keen on the taste, or you know, you could actually try a mocha, because the hot chocolate does come through, so it kind of like takes ever so slightly, has like a different taste to the coffee, but try it. I'd be really interested to know. So next time you're at a coffee shop and you're imming and ahhing what to have, try a mocha. Yeah, I'd be interested to know if you've actually tried one. But yeah, oat mocha, amazing. So I have 14 whips, which that just sounds unbelievable to me. That just sounds like crazy. Like that sounds like way too many for me. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to share all this and show you my projects, because what I plan to do is I want to get the majority of these whips finished by the end of the year. Ideally, I'd like to get them done by the autumn. So I'm not planning on starting any what I call long-term whips, which are blankets. We all know that I've got a bit of a blanket fetish. So as much as I still haven't done habitation throw, and there's lots. And I want to do more scrappy things. But anyway, the plan is to get most of these done by autumn. Not only that, I think when you have whips that are hanging around that you're not reaching for, the longer you leave them, I find they almost feel like a bit like a chore for you to like pick them and get them done. You kind of feel like, oh, that's been there for ages, I really must do that. And not only that, sometimes, I don't know about you, but depending on what mood I'm in or what season, like, you know, we have ups and downs in our life, don't we? What seasons we feel like we're going through in that. And I think sometimes, depending on how you're feeling, your tastes can change, and there might be something that you pick up to work on and you're like, oh, do you know, I really don't like this anymore now. And what is the point of that just staying there in that bag when you could frog it? You could, if you're not enjoying the pattern, or you don't like the colours anymore, or it's just not working for you, I think the best thing to do is to get rid of it. When I mean get rid of it, I don't mean obviously throw it away. I mean unravel it, wind it up, take it out that project bag, put the project bag away with your other project bags, and then leave the yarn there. And then it might be that other projects come in, and then that yarn might be more suited to a different project. And that's what I'm going to do with two of mine. I am going to frog them, but I'm going to show you what they look like first. So 14 whips, but 2 are going to get frogged. So technically 12 whips. So we're going to start off first. I'm going to show them to you in sections. So we're going to chat about socks, shawls, cowls, blankets, hats, garments, and then I've just got a little bit to share with you at the end of the episode. So let me know. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on whips. Are you one in, one out? Do you have multiple whips going? Because the thing is, things like blankets can take a long time. And so therefore, I guess some people will think to themselves, which I would think, that having a project like a long-term project like a blanket, and then having something like a sock on the go or a garment on the go is totally fine. I mean, at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong. It's how you feel. And seeing all this like this, knowing that there's other things I want to start, this makes me feel a little bit under pressure. Yeah, definitely. So, and some of these whips I really like, and that's why I want to get them done, because I feel that I don't feel happy starting something without finishing these. Although, having said that, give it a month, I bet I'll be back here saying, look at this I've just cast on. And you will have to say to me, no, no, Cherie, remember those 12 whips? You better tell me off. Right, socks. Let's make a pathway. Should we do that? There. I think you can probably still see them all here. Socks. Now, I have 4 socks. 4. So I've got, that's not a sock. I've got 4 socks. All in their project bags. First up, I'm going to chat to you about my Halloween socks that I've not finished, which I love. So these will get finished. And it's in my Hocus Pocus project bag. And they're just plain socks. There's no pattern to them. This is the yarn that I'm using, which is by Green Lambkin yarn, dyed by Suzanne, and it's such a lovely colourway. It's called Trick or Treat. And then I had, which Suzanne had dyed up for me very kindly. I have shown this before on the podcast, but this mini sock set was called I Smell Children, and I am using them for heels, toes and cuffs. they shouldn't take too long because it's just a plain vanilla sock. And another thing, I don't know about you, but I also find that I will tend to just spend time on one project. So at the minute, all I want to do at the minute is work on my Sophie shawl. So once that's done, I tend to do that sometimes. Do you? Do you tend to just focus on one project and get that done first? Or do you enjoy picking up different projects and working a little bit on, you know, you could be working a little bit on some socks one day, or at the weekend you might just work on a particular project. But it shouldn't take that long. Once I, you know, get started and get them done, they shouldn't take long. So that's whip number 1 that I am keeping. That's staying. Pop it down there. So let me put my notes here, that would probably be easier. So up next is a test knit, and these are the ribbed DK Magic Heel Socks by Judy of Autumn Acorn, and I have test knit this pattern, and I've got some notes here because I just wanted to say this pattern should be released on the 8th of April, but keep an eye out on Judy's Instagram account. I will leave links down below to where you can find Judy, because it's so funny. They just make me laugh, but they're not called magic for nothing. So if you are new to sock knitting and you are a little bit nervous, and knitting socks can be really daunting and a little bit intimidating, and I think by knitting one of Judy's magic heel patterns, I think it gives you that confidence, that little boost you need to be able to make something and get it finished, because you haven't got to worry about gussets and, you know, decreases and picking up stitches here and doing that. And these worked up, well, I've only done one, as you can see, but I have started the next one. It worked up really quickly. When I say I've started the next one, I've done the cuff and I've just joined in. You might be able to see I've just joined in the grey yarn that I'm using. And it's really nice knitting with DK yarn because it's really nice on the hands, and it works up a lot quicker than it does if you are using 4-ply. So I followed the pattern exactly as Judy had written it. I didn't make any modifications or anything. I knitted the second size. The only thing I'd probably do differently next time, and it's because of my tension, is I'm more of a tight knitter, so I'd probably go up half a needle size next time. I used 3.25s on this one, and I think I probably could do with it just being 3.5, but they fit lovely. They are really snug. I know some people have asked how this heel fits, and does it actually hug your heel? Does it feel comfortable? And it does, it really does. So yeah, keep an eye out for this pattern. I think Judy said she's hoping to do a child's version as well, so that would be amazing because I love knitting these type of socks for Jessie. So anyway, that's sock number 2, and that's not going to take long to finish, so I can definitely get that done by the autumn. And sock number 3 is a recent cast on, and I shared this one on my Instagram stories, and this is Jessie's sock. And what's that noise? I'm really hoping that next door they're having a lot of building work done, so I'm really hoping I get to finish this episode without any like big noise going on. Else I'll have to stop it, and that'd be a shame. Anyway, plain vanilla sock. These are for Jessie. I am hoping to get them finished for Easter if I can, but like I said, all I want to do at the minute is get my Sophie shawl finished. But the yarn is so lovely. It's Peter Rabbit, and it is on, I don't think she actually dyes yarn anymore, which is a shame. This is on a 75/25 base, and yeah, it's called Petite, and it's just so lovely. I can hear drilling now. Oh my, that's going to be annoying, isn't it? And I've got a little rabbit charm there. You'll have to excuse my nails because I recently had them taken off and they are so sore, my nails. They're not in very good condition now, and I just wanted to have a break from having nails on. They weren't tips, they were never tips that I had on, like acrylics. I basically started off with my nails being this short, and then I had what they call over here, it's probably the same everywhere, it's called builder gel, and then you go and every time you have your appointment they reapply builder gel over the top, and so it's like a protective layer so that it helps your natural nail grow underneath. And you can, yeah, my nails grew really long with them, and then you just go back like you would if you had acrylic nails and just had them, you'd have them redone. And I loved having them done, they were lovely. But I just found that with crafting and now with the garden, I love growing lots of different plants, flowers. Going to try a little bit more fruit and veg this year. I just found that having my longer nails just wasn't really practical, so, and I thought it'd just be good to have a little bit of a break, but they are definitely not looking their best, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But anyway, let me know, do you like to have your nails done? So that is that one in there. Again, that's not a difficult project. That's going to get done by the end of autumn, ideally Easter. And then lastly, I've got a pair of Christmas socks. Had these probably on the needles for ages and ages, and they are my blueberry socks, which is a laugh because I remember trying to knit these once, and it's a free pattern. It is so basic and simple, but my brain just couldn't get on with it, and I just loved the pattern. I loved the texture that it created, and this is what they look like. And I'm using this lovely yarn, which is another green lambkin yarn, and it's called Glacé Fruits, and I absolutely love this colour. I can't remember if it is a green lambkin colour or not, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not sure if the camera's going to be able to pick it up, but I'd love a full skein of this. It's just, it's almost like a jade, like a Chinese jade colour. Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So that does take a little bit of concentration from me. So I would like to get them done because I've got some beautiful Christmas yarns that I'd love to be able to cast on around Christmas time. So that is another project, another sock. And at the minute I feel like I can't start any other socks until I get these done. But I really like the yarns, I like the colours, so I don't want to frog them, and I don't want to frog any of the ones that I've shown you. So that is the last sock whip. So 4 sock whips. I think it's good to have like a small whip that you can pick up if you are literally just going to head out the door to meet a friend, or you're going away for the weekend or something like that. It's nice to have like a sock whip, I think, or something maybe like mittens or a hat. Right, next up, shawls. So I'm going to chat to you about the Sophie shawl because that's just all I want to work on at the minute, and I've done quite a lot. I did share this one on my stories the other day and on my previous episode, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's a little bit crumpled up, but oh, it smells so good because of my soap that I've got in my bag. Now that is another lovely project that doesn't require a lot of concentration, and I'm really enjoying it, so that is definitely going to get finished. That's that one, and I'm now on the decreases, which is great. So that's shawl number 1. I'm just going to put everything down here. Shawl number 2, I have not shown this for a very long time, and I definitely want to get it finished. And I still absolutely love the yarn. I love the colours. And this is the Dotted Rays shawl by Stephen West. I love it so much that I've already planned my next one, which I know is crazy, but I just, sometimes there's just some patterns that you just really enjoy and you just would like them in different colours or different variations. And I've not worked on this in a very long time, and this is how far I've got. Look, how naughty is that? Do you know, I never normally do that. Stop halfway through a row. Like, how do I even know? Normally I have to have things like this in my bag, in my project bag. Do you do that? Do you have to like write down? So I'm on, at least I know that I'm on wedge 9, section B, and then I have to write everything down and tick it off as I'm doing it. This is definitely a project that I need to concentrate on when I'm working on it. But you can see I've already faded into the next wedge. Really lovely pattern. And this is the yarn that I'm using, which is gorgeous. So I definitely want to get that one done. So that is shawl number 2. And I think the next ones are cowls. And I've got, the next one is living in this project bag. And this is, let me find my notes. This is the Land of Sweets cowl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. And I'm sure lots of you have already seen this one. I've printed off, did I print off the front cover? Oh, I did. Great for scrappy projects, or you could even knit that in one colour and it would look absolutely gorgeous. I literally only just started this and cast it on because I planned, basically I did a swap with my friend Suzanne, and she sent me, look how cute, look how she packaged them. You might remember from a couple of Christmases ago, and she sent me her advent that she did at the time was based, her theme was based on A Christmas Carol. And we were going to do mitts and wrist warmers, and Suzanne did hers, and they looked lovely, and I didn't get on with them. And so then I decided that I wanted to make something else, and I wanted to make something small, like a smaller project, and I thought that the Land of Sweets cowl would be perfect. So I cast it on, I got the first section done, well, small section done, and then I put it back in. I've not picked it up since, but I want to. So this is another project that I want to get done, and that probably is going to take a little bit of concentrating because it does have a little bit of lace work, some eyelets there. But let me know, have you made the Land of Sweets cowl? I know lots of people have, and yeah, so I'd like to get that done before Christmas, because that to me is a really Christmassy project, especially the fact that I've kept it in the project bag that we swapped, and obviously it's the yarn that I'd be using is Christmas themed yarn. So that is the first cowl. The second cowl is living in this project bag, and this was a lovely swap that I did, and again it's Christmas yarns, it's from Blush Yarns, and it is a lovely pattern. This is the Scattering Petals pattern by Dana Ray Makes. I don't think I printed out the pattern because I can't find it here. I think I must have been reading it off of, no that isn't it. I must have just been reading it off of my iPad. But I have all the yarns, all the advent yarns are still in their bags. Oops, they're all numbered still. And what I've been doing is, and it's such a lovely pattern, I love the pattern, and that's another lovely scrappy project. I have been working one row or one round in each colour. Now I'm not going to pick this, I'm not going to frog it, but in hindsight now, thinking about it, I wish that I had just worked the whole. But then having said that, whether or not I should have just kept the one colour and then just use that colour until it had finished before joining in the next colour. But I guess it would be more of a block with the colours, and it wouldn't have maybe so much of like a scrappy effect, maybe, thinking about it. It just means there'd be more ends, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I'd love to get that one done. That's a really lovely pattern. There is also a sock pattern as well, using the scattering petals. It's lovely, I love it. Talking of scrappy makes, Amy from Exterminate on Instagram, and I've made some little notes, I checked before I popped on, has a really fun make along happening, and it is called Scrap Free in 23. I will leave a link down below so that you can pop over and have a little look. It's a really simple, no pressure, relaxed, fun make along that is starting April the 1st and it's running through to September the 30th. So you've got a good 6 months to get any of your scrappy projects started or finished. Even if you've got some that are whips like this, you can still enter this into it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing people's projects and what they are going to work on, what they want to get finished. There might be some scrappy projects that you think that you want to get started, so you could start it within that time frame and get it finished. Chances are there's probably a few projects you could start and finish in that time frame, or maybe you've got one big scrappy project and that's your little bit of a goal to get done. So yeah, have a look, it looks really fun. So put that one away. So that's the last cowl. I don't tend to make a lot of cowls. I tend to normally make shawls, but I do enjoy wearing a cowl. It is really nice. So that's that one. And we are going to move on to blankets next. I just need to go and get, because I've left the two things actually that I'm going to frog. I'll leave them to last. I need to go get my cabin squares in a minute. I can just hear some knocking. This was going to be a Battenberg blanket, and I am not going to be making it into a blanket now. So this is by Sandra Cherry Heart, and it is such a beautiful pattern. It's a free pattern, and I have decided, and I made this decision a while ago, but again, I've just let it sat in the project bag, and I've not picked it up. But sometimes you reach for a project you've not worked on for a while, and you either have that feeling where you want to then work on it and you love it again and you get excited by it again, or it might be that you look at it and you think this isn't working. It ain't working for us. We need a break. We're on a break. I'm going to turn this into a cushion cover, and the plan was always to turn it into a cushion cover, and it was going to be a gift for my mum, probably about 3 Mother's Days ago, 3 years ago, and it was going to be a Mother's Day gift. Then it might have ended up that it was going to be a birthday gift, because her birthday's in August, and she loves homemade things. Like anything I've ever made her, I've probably already said before, I've made her dishcloths before, and she just loves them so much that she just has them piled up on the side and she doesn't use them. And I have to say to her, no, you need to use them. So she's definitely what you call knit worthy. And it's not going to take long to try and square that off. I've already got a lot of squares that I've made, and I've got them all on a stitch holder here. And I've got all the yarn in there, which is more than enough that I need. Because I quite fancy making one of these for myself actually. Yeah, there's not really much more I can say about that. I am now planning, because we've already just had Mother's Day here in the UK, I'm now planning on this might be a birthday present for her. So watch this space. And I've got all the little scrappy bits in here that I've been using because they literally don't take much. I might have even wrote down, I thought I wrote it down. I think some of the squares take about, with my tension, everyone's tension's different. It's either 4 or 5 grams. And I was using, that's the front of the pattern there. I can't remember what size. Normally on a pattern I will write down what size hook or what needle I'm using, just so that I remember in case I've gone and I've started another project and I've needed to take it for another project. But anyway, so that is blanket number 1, which has now been changed into a cushion cover. Keep that one there. And then blanket number 2 is still ongoing, and this is my big granny stripe blanket, and I was working on this in one of my vlogs the other week, and I've got in here a project bag that has lots of different scraps in there. I need to go through this one actually, because I think some of them are a little bit too small, and that will lead on to my next thing that I'm going to chat to you about actually. Like for instance that, I mean, I don't even know how much that weighs. Oh no. That is definitely not enough yarn to do one full row. But that is definitely enough for me to use in this project over here that I'm going to chat to you about. Oh, that is winding me up. Is that winding you up? That's quite ironic really, because it does need winding up, but it is winding me up. Let me know. Does that bother you, things like that? Oh, I can't even look at it. Oh no, it's attached to, oh no, it's on my floor. Cool. That is attached to that. Right. Out of sight, out of mind. Let's not worry about it now. Right. What is going on here? Oh, it is attached. I am using this now. Oh, days. I've done a right little pico here. Right little pico. Let's just wind it up a minute because that's just doing my nut. Make sure I'm not popping out. It's not that type of video. Right. Okay, so I have been working on this for many years. It is a long whip that when I look at this, I don't have any pressure to get it finished. I love picking it up, working on it, and then it being put away for a while, and then me picking it up again and working on it. I think the only reason why I don't reach for it as much as my other projects is because crocheting with 4-ply yarn can get a little bit tiresome, and I think that's the only reason why. I think it would be really nice to crochet a granny stripe maybe with DK weight yarn, or next time I could always hold the yarn double. That's definitely an option. Yeah, that's the only reason I think maybe I don't pick it up as often as I think I would. In the past, whenever I've crocheted blankets, they've never been with hand-dyed yarn. It's always been with acrylic DK yarn, and obviously that yarn is a heavier weight yarn, so it works up a lot quicker. But having said that, seeing all the colours here, they look so pretty together, don't they? And I'm using a 3.5 hook, tulip hook. They're my favourite. I'm using 3.5. I think a lot of people tend to use a 3, but I wanted the blanket to be quite loose and quite drapey. And funnily enough, whilst I am a tight knitter, I'm probably a little bit looser when it comes to crochet. And yeah, that's probably all I need to say about this. I used Attic 24 pattern, but it's just a basic granny stripe. Anybody could do this. Anybody could make this. And granny stripe blankets are so simple and mindless, and I've said it before with crochet. Crochet has a different effect. For me it does, and depending on how I'm feeling or my mood or anything like that, sometimes it's really comforting. I find crochet really soothing and really comforting, whereas knitting sometimes can be a little bit stressful, can't it? So that is the third blanket. Is it the third blanket? No, because we're not saying that, just looking at my notes, we're not saying that that's a blanket now, are we? So technically I've got 3 blankets because I've got 2 more to show you. So that's not a blanket, we'll move that down there. So that's blanket number 1. Blanket number 2, I have said before about this that I was going to change it into a placemat, I think. But this is I've decided now, looking at it again, I was I was debating whether or not to start another mitered square blanket, another cozy memories blanket. And I thought about it and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna carry on with this. And this is a free pattern by Amy of Noble Character Crafts. Amy has a lovely podcast. I will mention Amy down below, so you better click on her and it will take you over to her podcast. And I will also link to the pattern because she has a free tutorial up on her channel. Have a look at it because it shows you her hexie blanket that she's made, and it is beautiful. I just love how scrappy it is, and looking at something like that just makes me smile. It makes me really happy. So I mean, you could, if you wanted to have like an actual theme, like a colour theme, you don't have to just use scraps. You could totally use like the same colours but as a theme. Let me see what I wrote here. Yeah, Hexie Granny Blanket, she's called it. And you can probably tell that each round is a different colour, but you don't have to do that. I mean, you could just keep going until that particular yarn was used up and then add on the next one. But for the likes of things like this, if you've got leftover yarn and you're thinking to yourself, what can I do with that? Apart from make a magic knot ball, which I've done that, and that's fun. I've still got my magic knot ball that I've not used, and I was thinking that would be a good to use up for the scrap free in 23 make along. But this small amount would be perfect for this type of project because you need hardly any for this. So the plan is to go through my leftovers in there and have a little look at what I've got, because I think I need about 5 or 6 grams of yarn to do 1 stripe on my granny stripe blanket. So anything under that I can use for this one. I did have like a bowl of all small little scrappy bits, and I poured it into a bag because this doesn't even have a project bag, and I don't know what I've done with the hook. So I need to go find that and assign a project bag to it and get another little bag with some little leftovers. And the great thing about things like this is you can always swap with people. You can send little leftovers to friends, do a little swap, which is great. I've got plenty of leftovers for the minute, so I don't need to do any swaps. But if I run out and if anyone's interested, it's fun to do swaps, and especially around the world, because there's yarns from, you know, really talented, amazing yarn dyers in different countries that you know not necessarily would purchase from or not know about. So it's a fun. It makes it really fun. It makes the project fun then, doesn't it? And then you look forward to receiving the little swaps in the post then, and then it'll make you want to work on it. So that is something that I'm really thinking that I literally want to finish this now and edit and just add some hexies onto that. So I think that might be something I might pick up this weekend. Oh, I just love looking at it. Now, one more before I chat to you about the frogged whips, but I need to go grab something, so bear with me. Oh, I'm glad the sun's out again. It was raining earlier when I went to get my coffee, because I am planning on going for a run. I've started running again, which is really good. It's something that I used to do when I was a lot younger. When I was a teenager, I used to run, I used to enter races and things like that. So I've always been a runner, and on and off throughout my life I've fallen in love with it, out of love with it type thing, but I've got back into it again now and I'm really enjoying it. So, but I'm a bit fussy, and if it's really heavy rain, I don't like running in the rain. This is the last blanket that I'm going to show you, and it is my log cabin blanket, and you've seen this, and you've seen this if you've watched previous episodes. I have got, what have I got now? 2, 4, I've got 6, and I have still got a little bit of rustling. This pattern is by Stacey Perry, who is Very Pink Knits. It's a free pattern, and I think I'm only doing one. I'm doing the middle bit and then one full round, whereas on her pattern she actually does another round. Now I'm thinking, which is dangerous. Right, maybe that is dangerous. I shouldn't be thinking things like that. Thinking of adding another round to it. I quite like that they're like smaller, and then I would do more of them. So this blanket, I have been working, this has been actually quite a long whip. I've had this for a while, and I recently picked it up again and wanted to work on it because it's using DK weight yarn. My needle size is 4.5, which it does say in the pattern, and I've really enjoyed knitting up the squares. The last one I did was this one. I love that. I've got all the yarns in here, which were all Harry Potter. It was from Nora George, it was from Tracy's Harry Potter Blanket Club, and again, it has that scrappy feel to it, doesn't it? I love it. Absolutely love the squares. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to join them, but I'll worry about that when I get to that point. And I'm not sure how many squares I'm going to do. But that's my last blanket that I've got. And that leads me on to my 2 projects that I am going to frog. And then that is it. I've shown you every single project. I hope I'm not knocking the camera too much. If I am, apologies, because I've got you're on my tripod and you're on top of a box, so if I've knocked the table whilst you've been watching, I am sorry. I'll try and remember not to do that. That's all of my whips, which are whips that I want to work on, that I want to get finished. But the last 2 whips are going to be the whips that I am going to frog, and I can't decide what to do about this one in terms of what I'm going to do with the yarn once I've frogged it. After showing you the blanket that I'm working on, the log cabin with the DK yarn, part of me thinks, do I put that into this blanket? Because this is also DK weight yarn. And this is a advent calendar. And this was Beehive Yarns, lovely Beth. I absolutely love her yarns. They are so beautiful, and I love this advent calendar. This was from a few Christmases ago, and I was planning on knitting the Stripes sweater by Andrea Mowry with it. And you might remember on Instagram I put up a poll, and I couldn't decide whether or not to just what order to use the yarn, whether or not just to go for a random pull out a skein of yarn, knit with it, or to actually do it in a fade. I decided to go random, which might have been the reason. Maybe that was the wrong decision, but I'm definitely going to frog it. So I'm going to show you how far I got. I split for the sleeves, I was on the body, and I don't like it. So it is getting frogged. And that's what it looks like. I just don't think that is me. It looks massive. Yeah, what do you think? which is a shame because the pattern is lovely, but I just don't think, yeah, don't think I like it anymore, which is sad. But it's just going to sit in the bag, and it has been sat in the project bag, and I think that the yarn is so lovely that it needs to be knitted or used. The yarn's so lovely, I want to use it in something, and so I can't decide whether or not to. Once I frogged it, I could re-knit the pattern as a fade, get the colours, because some of the yarn I've got is still, let's pull out what I've got that I can show you. I've still got all of these that I've not wound up yet. Look at these. Oh, love it. Just love the colours. They're lovely. Look at all of these. Look at that one. That's beautiful. So, I don't know. Maybe I should do it as the fade again. Because that works, doesn't it? I know I've obviously cut the yarn now, haven't I? On the bits that I've already used, but these colours are so lovely. I could do it as a fade. I really don't know. Sometimes I think you need to frog something, leave it for a while, mull it over. Do they say mull it over? Is that the right word? Because in here is obviously the yarns that I've wound and then I've knitted with. So that's what they're like. Answers on a postcard, as they say. Help me decide. What do you reckon? Do I just think, forget about the pattern, wind them all up, add them into this bag, and they can be, I can knit them as part of my blanket? Or do I start the pattern again, but do it actually in a fade? Let me know. What do you think? What shall I do? I need a bit of help. I've probably spoken way too much about that now, but I'm in a bit of a predicament, so let me know. Let me know what you think. And the last project, let's just move that there, that I'm going to frog is my Oslo hat. And this is actually for Jessie. I'm not getting on with it. I don't like the construction of it. And I am going to knit her, I think I'm going to knit her the Simple Pleasures. I was holding the yarn double, and I still really like the hat. It's lovely to, you know, to look at. It's just a simple hat, but the construction of it, I'm not getting on with it. I don't like it. See, sometimes you don't know until you try some things, do you? But I did purchase some new yarn to make the weekend hat by Petite knit, and the construction of that is a lot easier. It doesn't have like this double brim, so it's not that I've not been able to do it. I did have to ask my friend Stacey to help me because I was getting really confused by it, and I couldn't understand it at first, but I managed to do it. But I don't like it. I'm gonna frog it. And this yarn is so lovely, and she loves this yarn. Jessie picked this yarn out as well, so, and I was knitting the kids size, but I'm not getting on with it. So I'm going to frog that, and I think I'm going to make her the Simple Pleasures hat. If not, I might do the weekend one, but I don't know yet. I will let you know. So that is going to get frogged. Yeah, the yarn that I bought for the weekend hat is really lovely. It's like a really lovely bright green. So frogged. I will frog that, and I will frog my stripes as well, but I might wait and just see what advice you all give me. And that is it. We have come to the end of the episode. which is great. I hope you enjoyed watching that and seeing how many whips I have. Maybe you've got more, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you've got less. Maybe you just have one whip and you do whip in, whip out. Let me know. I'd really like to know. I love reading all your comments, so thank you so much. And one other thing I was just going to chat to you really quickly about. I have set up my Ko-fi account again. I will leave a link down below. I plan to do regular updates, kind of like like Instagram, or no, I guess it's more like a blog post really, where I'll put a picture up and there'll be some text, like a weekly update. That is the plan. You can pop across, you can follow it, you can leave me a comment underneath. If you feel like you want to, you don't have to. You can leave a little donation if you wanted to support the channel. That would be great, but obviously there's no pressure, you don't need to. The reason why I set it back up again is I had some really lovely messages, and the lovely people that messaged me asked if I had a Ko-fi account, because I did have one a while ago. And with some encouragement, I set it back up again, and it's just there. So it's there. I'll probably not mention this again for a while now, but I thought I'd just mention it. So yeah, if you want to pop across and have a little look, please do. I'm going to see if I can, because I know you can do it, but I haven't had a go yet, is you can put up like little videos as well. So that might be something that I do in the future, but I'll just see first, see how it goes. But yeah, it is there. It is linked down below now. Feel free to ask any questions that you want. I hope that you've enjoyed watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!